So we'll first go into a room that will scrub the air and clean our shoes. We grow naturally, and we use all the organic options available to us, which means we have to be very careful about visitors. This is the veg room, and this is the beginning stage of growth for the plants.
Wow. So here you're growing medical marijuana and recreational marijuana.
Both medical and recreational, and the difference is nothing. The difference is a tax structure.
Yeah. I read you started in 2009.
2009. Yeah. So my background was medical device sales and marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I worked for companies like Smith & Nephew and Stryker, and sold implantable orthopedic devices. My wife, who started this with me, her background was pharmaceutical industry and wound care management. So we came to this industry from the medical side. We were absolutely intrigued by the medical efficacy of the plant.
How have you seen the industry shift or change since early or January 2014 when recreational became legal?
It's been profound. Many people who were interested in it had not tried it simply because it was illegal, or you had to have a recommendation by a physician.
And why do you think it passed specifically here in Colorado? Is there something about the personality or the political attitude of people here that made it a yes?
I'm really proud of Coloradans because we're a very progressive state.
Yeah.
So having a war on an issue is maybe not the right answer, but understanding it and regulating it responsibly and taxing it and letting individuals make their own decision about what they want to put in their body is a great way. I obviously agree with what the majority of Coloradans feel.
Now that a year has passed, has there been a retrospective on the effects of now this legalization?
Absolutely. We proved that the sky has not fallen.
Yes.
And teen use has gone down. Motor vehicle accidents have gone down. It's phenomenal. You know, the statistics surrounding the availability of marijuana to any adult who wants to purchase it. We'll take genetics from seed.
Yes.
And we'll populate them, and then we will grow them and pick the strongest genetics, the strongest examples of that genotype, and cull it, meaning we'll kill the ones that aren't as healthy.
Okay.
So we're populating the strongest genetic, and then we'll plant them in containers and progress. We'll veg them for 2 to 3 months, and then we'll force them into bloom, which is done with light. So with 12 hours of light, they'll go into bloom, and they'll quit growing en masse, but instead go into flower. And that process takes about 2 months. So you've seen the veg, and this is just about a third of the size of this facility.
Okay.
Around the corner are our bloom rooms.
Oh.
So we have 10 rooms, and we'll harvest a room a week. Would you like to look at one of those?
I would love
quickly?
to. Yes, definitely. Wow.
So much more fragrant in this room. This room will harvest in about 3 weeks. Air handling systems, feeding fresh air and CO2 into the rooms.
Yeah.
We have filtration systems, so outside you can't smell this, so we continue to have neighbors that are happy with us.
Yes.
And call it natural growing because the federal government doesn't recognize organic growing techniques with marijuana because it's still considered federally illegal. So we try to grow organic as possible, but we call it natural for that reason.
So natural. And what are the challenges of growing marijuana natural?
They're intense, and so we work directly with the Department of Agriculture and several state entities to try to find solutions to pests and natural occurring challenges with methods that they're happy with and that they approve. So it's a tremendous work in progress. So what you're looking at now are plants that are sitting in not soil but cocoa husks, and we do that because it's sterile when we receive it, and then we feed the plant the nutrients as they need it, and we adjust that weekly.
Check la lumière, qu'est-ce que ça fait dans mon téléphone?
So with your phone, you're seeing the light spectrum that otherwise you don't.
Yeah.
So we're trying to compete with the sun.
You were saying earlier that you have someone who goes and who travels to get the seeds.
He's traveled all over the world to learn the techniques that he uses here for natural growing.
Okay.
And so there's genetics all over the world, and it's it's going to be a wonderful day when we can utilize those genetics, but we are limited to purchasing genetics that are grown here in the state.
Here. I haven't seen it like this before.
Yes, it's one of those little tricks that my master grower hates me for sharing all the time.
Yes.
Here we are.
Oh well.
Sorry, Greg.
Raph, il a un dispensaire ici où est-ce qu'il m'amène présentement. So this is the Green Mile in Denver.
Correct.
And what does the Green Mile stand for?
The Green Mile is the largest concentration of cannabis shops in the world.
Okay.
So in this 1 mile stretch, there's over 20 retail shops. And we're proud of what we've done for the community. It's brought a lot of tax revenue and people to this area that now has wonderful eateries and great antique shops.
So this is you.
This is us. The first year we were open, the average age of our customers was 64.
No way.
It was very interesting. So we went to senior resource centers and spoke and gave talks about cannabis and invited them to satisfy their curiosity and check out a dispensary. So they would come here with a van filled with folks that were carrying a shopping cart of all their pharmaceuticals, and they said, "These aren't working anymore. Can this cannabis stuff really work?" And we had a lot of fun with that because it's so effective, especially for people who are trying to address pain throughout the night, and they're looking for something that'll help them sleep through the entire evening. And it was a lot of fun to see the success.
Good. This is a good-looking space.
Well,
it looks like a cafe. So what do we have here?
So, what we see on the wall
Yes.
is the flowers, the marijuana.
Yes.
It's pre-packaged, and it's also packaged in nitrogen to keep it fresh.
Uh-huh.
And the station we're at now, this is the fast lane. So this is
Okay.
to expedite a sale. Our other stations allow for people to be consulted. So if someone has a lot of questions, they're going to gravitate towards someone who can help them out. And the reason why there's so many varieties is because certain strains of cannabis will speak to a certain ailment or speak to a certain effect.
Right. Is there some of your vapes here?
Yes. So the vaporizer consists of 2 parts. You have the battery.
Okay.
And this is a lithium battery similar to your cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's rechargeable.
Yeah.
And the cartridge is the component that has the cannabis oil in it. So this oil is the essential oil of cannabis that we extract organically from the flower. You're not burning carcinogens and inhaling those. Instead, you're breathing in water vapor with cannabis.
Cool. Pen vape. And so do they have different types of oils?
They do. So on the wall, you can see the color coding. So all cannabis can fall into 3 buckets: sativa, indica, and hybrid. And they all speak to different effects. So sativa is something that you would use during the day. It might give you energy. You might alphabetize your CD collection.
Yes.
If you wanted something to help you sleep at night, you would lean towards an indica product, which is the purple products. So upstairs is our medical room, and it's a beautiful display. I'd love to show you what we have up there. Okay?
Yeah.
Right this way.
Thank you. C'est plus grand que je pensais. So are these the same products in medical?
They're similar, but medical does not have a restriction on the amount of THC that's in a serving and in a package.
What's the pain cream?
So one of the earliest known uses of cannabis is arguably as a topical for pain and for increased circulation. There's a salve that can treat psoriasis or precancerous skin spots. There's also a topical that speaks to inflammation, and another topical that just simply addresses pain. Cannabis is really effective for folks who suffer from glaucoma, which is a lack of circulation in your eyes. So, stereotypically you see people who consume cannabis with red eyes.
Yeah.
What that's doing is increasing the circulation and increasing the size of your blood vessels in your eye, which is very advantageous if you suffer from glaucoma.
That makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you so much for the tour.
welcome.
I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.